present SHAZAM Court at McCoy Memorial Park. Good morning, everyone. What a fantastic start to our event with a performance from the Copper Canyon High School Band. They're for a high school that's located right here in Glendale with around 1,800 students. Their principal likes to say, "Seize the Coppertunity," and they sure did. Can we get another round of applause? We'd like to thank their band as well as their spirit line and basketball team for being here with us today. I'm Jessica Mensch with the City of Glendale's communications team. Today we are bursting with community pride in honoring Al McCoy, the legendary Phoenix Suns broadcaster and Glendale resident, by dedicating this park to him. The park is in the heart of a neighborhood where residents and families have enjoyed these amenities for around 50 years. It's the same neighborhood where Al raised his own family, so it's only fitting to honor him in the place he called home for generations to come. Here's what you can expect from today. We'll start off with some speakers. We have Glendale City Manager Kevin Phelps, former City Council Member Ian Hugh, Al McCoy's son Jerry McCoy, and broadcaster and Suns alum Eddie Johnson. After their remarks, Al McCoy's family is going to reveal the official name of the basketball court that you'll see just outside of this tent. And that beautiful court is courtesy of a very important partnership that we have with the Phoenix Mercury and Suns Foundation. But that's not all. Eddie Johnson is going to take a ceremonial first shot out there. Yep. And he's actually going to be using a ball that will be used in next year's NCAA Women's Final Four. You'll remember that we had the men's tournament here last year. It was such a blast. We cannot wait for them to head to downtown Phoenix, the women's tournament that is, next year. And finally, the Copper Canyon High School basketball team will join him on the court to shoot some hoops. First, before we do that, we want to thank some special people who are here with us today. We have the Suns Gorilla and dancers. We have Councilmember Baldenegro of the Ocotillo District. Councilmember Diana Guzman of the Yucca District. Councilmember Lauren Tolmachoff of the Choya District. Councilmember Ray Malner of the Saguaro District. And Parks Commissioners Helena Johnson and Linda Pacheco Martinez. Thank you all so much for joining us today. So without further ado, please direct your attention to the video screens.
We're in downtown Phoenix, the home of the Suns, and tonight in NBA action.
Al McCoy along with Dick Van Arsdale, inviting you to join us for all the excitement of Phoenix Suns basketball.
Kid off to Steve Nash, a 20-footer straight away. Scoring time for Victoria's Secret, Steve Nash.
I just love the guy to bits and cherish every single moment, every single conversation, glass of wine. Every moment I had with Al was a pleasure and a breath of fresh air because he's such a great man and had so much love for his community and the Phoenix Suns.
Flying to the basket, he scores! LB, the Brazilian blur for sure.
We've had a lot of great players here, but I think the MVP is Al.
Kid throws the ball over to Rex Chapman, who launches up a three. Oh! SHAZAM!
Al just doing it for this long and how much he cares about the Suns and how much he cares about you as a person. You don't find that in a lot of different areas in organizations.
Fans here at U.S. Airways Center, and they are the best fans in the NBA, no question about it.
He's embedded in the culture, he's embedded in the organization. You know, I'm honored for us to develop the relationship that we have. You know, wearing this patch means something to me this year, so it's my job to further communicate to the guys that haven't been around here, you know, how special of a person he was.
Here's Perry to Gar Hurd. Here's the jump shot. Good! It's good! It counts! Gar Hurd ties it. We'll go to the third overtime. I gotta to take a breather. I want to tell you something. Somebody up there is on our side.
He really is a large piece of the fabric of the Phoenix Suns in the Valley, and that people recognize that, they feel that, they remember when they were here at different generations where he had an impact on their lives. I'm glad that his legacy is massive here in the Valley and that we're all going to get to celebrate him for years to come.
Hey everyone, this is Councilmember Lupe Conchas with the City of Glendale here in the Cactus District. We are so excited to be here to be celebrating Al McCoy and his legacy, the voice of the Phoenix Suns. We also want to thank the citizens of Glendale. We want to thank our mayor and council and also former council members for this investment in our community. We are super excited to have a space for our children and for our families to thrive and to play a little bit of basketball. Have a great day, and let's continue Al McCoy's legacy.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Glendale City Manager Kevin Phelps.
Well, good morning, everybody. I tell people that basketball is a big part of my life. For a long time, I thought I would be a basketball coach. That's really what my goal in life was. Now, my dad didn't quite figure it out. He was 5'8". My mom was 5'2", and yet the first thing he gave myself and my brothers was a basketball. Now, of course, he had a hook shot that was impossible to stop, but I never quite made that lofty goal of being a coach. In fact, my basketball coach in high school used to refer to me, he would say, that Phelps kid, he's the 5'9" guard who plays like he's 5'9 1/4. And so that was never in the cards for me, but it's been great to be here. I started listening, I'm from the Seattle area. I started listening to the Seattle Sonics in 1967 with another voice, Bob Blackburn, who knew Al McCoy quite well. And he was there for 25 years. Al was 50 years, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm thrilled to have Eddie Johnson here. He was obviously a big part of the Phoenix franchise, but you were a big part when I was a season ticket holder in Seattle. And I was kind of going back and thinking about all the players you got a chance to play with. And when you were in the Sonics, you played with Sean Kemp and Gary Payton, X-Men, Derek McKee, Nate McMillan, Olden Polynice, Michael Cage. And then you had the great fortune of being with great teammates here in Phoenix, including, Walter Davis and Alvin Adams, Tom Chambers, Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley, Steve Kerr, to name a whole bunch. You have played with some amazing people in your career, and what a great testament to you. You were the glue that I think really brought them all together. I wanted to say thanks to the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury Foundation for their partnership here, for us having the ability to honor Al McCoy. This park and basketball court are the core of the foundation's work, which is to use basketball to bring together a community. And as you can see, we are in the heart of a really large community, and these homes here will all benefit from this court. Al McCoy called this area his home as well. Today, we're going to see in the coming years, young men and women, some older men and women come and gather in the community of playing basketball and finding a hoops court. And in fact, in speaking of women, how great was it that last night that our Mercury are now headed to the WNBA Finals? That's got to be worth at least one SHAZAM, isn't it? Anyway, congratulations to the Mercury. So a couple things about the park before we bring on the next speakers. One, this park was built in 1975, and it's recently undergone a number of upgrades that were needed, including it has an all-new playground, has an upgraded sand and volleyball court, has all new LED lighting, and then we improved the irrigation to smart irrigation to make sure that we can keep the all the turf and everything green. Although with the amount of rain we've had over the last few days here in Glendale, we haven't had to turn it on too very much. So this basketball court is the icing on the cake for what we're doing here in this park, and we can't wait for everybody to see it once we unveil the logo. And so just like Al bringing energy and excitement to every game that he called, we too here in the city of Glendale want to provide for our residents the same kind of energy. So it's only fitting for us to formally announce the park as the Al McCoy Memorial Park.
you live in Glendale, and the rest of Arizona doesn't know that. That's why we're
Well,
here,
and
right here in Glendale.
I have to say this, Ian, and a lot of people ask me, but I'm from a small town, farm town in Iowa, and I love the feeling in Glendale. And I have to say this, and I've said it to many workers, the civil services in Glendale have kept me here through the years. Police, fire, everything is so terrific. I like the downtown square atmosphere. There's something special about Glendale, and I'm happy to be a resident, no question about it.
As you could see by the beginning of that video, Al clearly loved this community. He raised his family here, and he was all Glendale all the time. So that interview was so special, and it was actually part of an interview that he did with our former council member, Ian Hugh. He's sitting right up here. They were good friends and neighbors, so we'd like to invite him up here to say a few words.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was taken at Polo's, an Italian restaurant. Al was so popular, he had his own table, didn't he, Jerry? Yeah. And we didn't get to sit at it. It was Al McCoy's table. And that was a fun interview. I got to know a lot about him. One thing is, we talked about music. Nobody knows, he was a professional pianist. He could play those keys like nobody else could. He was great. And that we took the world's most recording artist, which is Hal Blaine, the famous drummer, and we went out to dinner with both of them, and we sat them at the same table, and they talked about musicians I never heard of. I had a great time, but Al was a fantastic man. Sharon and I have lived here in this neighborhood, 47 years. We had our first business, local gas station, right on the corner, 51st and Northern. And I worked there as a young man in high school, and I hired other young men to work for me from Apollo High and Glendale High. And one came running into my office, so excited, he goes, "You'd never guess who I just waited on. It was Al McCoy's wife." And I go, "Yes." And I go, "She driving a brand new Thunderbird?" "Yes, that's Al McCoy's wife." I mean, they're excited just with that McCoy name. Al was a great man. I can stand up here and talk about him, and everybody else can. And that interview, that was a highlight that we got with Al. My main thing is how many people, when the Suns were playing away, you shut your sound off and you listen to the radio, because that's where Al McCoy was. We're one of those families. And not other people can get up and talk, but he was a fantastic man. He had a great family, and he's surely missed. Thank you.
Thank you. So our next speaker is Al McCoy's youngest son, Jerry. He's a lifelong resident of Glendale, and he's no stranger to the city since he worked in various communications and marketing positions with us for around 20 years. Please join us.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Jessica. It's great to see so many familiar faces today. On this special occasion, the McCoy family members and I are pleased to be with you on this special day. I thought I saw a special guest here. I don't see him right at the moment. Oh, there he is. Help me welcome the Prosk, Joe Prosky. Joe Prosky was the longtime trainer for the Phoenix Suns. Joe Prosky. Him and my dad were travel companions and best friends while they're on the road for decades. So Joe and his daughter Jolene, thank you so much for being a part of today. So as was stated before, and as I will simply state, Al McCoy loved Glendale, period. By choice, he made Glendale his hometown for more than 50 years while he was calling games for the Suns. And he was proud to call Glendale home and enjoy talking with his friends and others, especially those from other parts of the valley, about all the things that he liked about Glendale. And he loved bragging about downtown Glendale and its great, unique restaurants and festivals, the Arrowhead Ranch area, Westgate, and the mega events, sporting events that Glendale has hosted. And He loved the one-of-a-kind, unique restaurants in town. I'm sure some longtime city employees may have run into him and my late mom, Georgia, on occasion. But he just loved this community for many, many reasons. And oh shoot, I almost forgot. He loved a destination in Glendale. Anyone think what the name is? Sanderson Ford, of course, right? Inside joke. So although Al's job with the Suns required him to be away for nearly half the year, he always found the time to get involved in his local city government, whether it was serving on a Glendale board or commission or sharing his talents to help promote and market the city. In fact, Al became so vested in this community that at one time he considered running for public office in Glendale, but I'm going to see, where's Mayor Wires? Is he here? I'm going to tell him to relax. My father's passed now, but he found his travel schedule to be too prohibitive, so he never ran for office. But even though he was out of town a lot, and he was always on the run when he was in town, Al always carved time each year to speak to civic organizations and participate in various fundraisers throughout the city. He enjoyed visiting senior centers and retirement communities, especially during the holidays, where he would oftentimes entertain residents with his musical talents on the piano. And in all the time that me and my brothers have been with him in public, we never ever saw him refuse an autograph or selfie request, regardless if we were eating or doing something else. He usually would even take the time to have a brief chat with the fans who would approach him. That's the type of person Al McCoy was, and that's the type of person I want all of you to remember him as, and why he was loved by so many sports and non-sports fans alike. He was kind, he was considerate, he was giving, and he was humble. And those qualities led Al to become a great ambassador for the city of Glendale, a city he loved and lived in for more than 50 years. And when he arrived at NBA arenas throughout the country to broadcast games for 5 decades, Al McCoy was the consummate professional who was also loved and respected by the NBA, its players, and his peers. For these and other reasons, Al McCoy will forever be known as the voice of the Phoenix Suns. On behalf of the Al McCoy family, including those who could not make it today, we want to thank the Glendale City Council, the city, and the Phoenix Suns and Mercury Foundation for their thoughtfulness and generosity from this project. Thank you, and SHAZAM always.
Thank you, Jerry. And finally, a man who spent years sitting beside Al in the broadcast booth, Eddie Johnson. He's a familiar face and voice to Phoenix Suns fans, as he's in his 26th season as a color analyst for the team's broadcasts. Johnson also co-hosts NBA Today on SiriusXM NBA Radio. He joined the Suns in 1987 and played more than 3 seasons with them. He helped Phoenix improve to a 55-27 record from a 28-54 record the previous season. And he was even named the NBA Sixth Man of the Year. So please join me in welcoming Eddie Johnson.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is an honor. It truly is. Al had so many people before him that he helped over the years, that he was a partner with and mentored, and for me to be able to come up here and just offer a few minutes about him, it's an honor. The Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury Foundation is so proud to be a part of this dedication to our great Al McCoy. Our reach is throughout this state, and it was no exception here for the great Al McCoy. So again, I want to thank the mayor and the city of Glendale for keeping Al in all of our hearts and having a reunion out here of all ex-players and coaches, and my man Prosk is out here, as they said, his sons, all of that. Al continues to bring us together. For 51 years, Al McCoy's voice rang out loud and clear. It echoed throughout not only Phoenix area, Glendale, wherever you might, but the entire state. And then it reached the entire country. Players that would hear Suns broadcast, or they got tapes of games and they would hear Al's voice describe them, they have those tapes because no one can describe a game like Al McCoy. Throughout his career in broadcasting, Al, he never commentated outside the state of Arizona. Can you believe that? Now, this is a guy that could have got some cash wherever he wanted to go. But Arizona was his home. He was not going to be pulled away. And he just didn't broadcast for the Phoenix Suns in Arizona. He broadcast for the Arizona State Sun Devils. He broadcast for the Phoenix Giants, a minor league baseball team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and of course, the Roadrunners as well. Don't let me forget the Roadrunners, if anybody remembers that organization. And, of course, the Phoenix Suns. But Al always stayed here. Glendale was special to him. I used to always ask Al, you know, if any of you all remember the show, The Jeffersons, Moving On Up, right? As you get a little money, like you want to move up. Like a lot of us do, you know. Al never did. I used to always joke with him and say, Al, you still over in Glendale, huh? You still in the same house? Yeah, I'm not leaving, Eddie. That's my spot. And I really respected that, and I appreciated that from him. He called basketball games, but don't sleep now. If anybody knew Al, he would always remind you that he could play basketball. And let legend have it, he's told a lot of people that he was Steph Curry before Steph. But really a true professional. When I tell you the opportunity I had to sit next to him and learn the game as a cocky, think I know it all athlete that just retired after playing 17 years, and sitting next to him and learning. And he had a host of analysts as well that he mentored over the years, you know, starting from the Mr. Sun himself, Dick Van Arsdale, to myself, and then finally Tim Kempton, who finished, you know, alongside Al to the end of his career. He taught a lot of people. He educated them on basketball. I don't know about these ex-players that's here, but I have about 85% of my games still. And even when I wasn't on the Suns, and I would always really make it an effort to go listen to a game that Al called, because I knew that he would say the right stuff about me. Okay, not a negative word. We all just want positivity, right? And I knew Al would give that to me. You know, you better find a way to stop that Eddie Johnson. I mean, you better try to find a way. He'd get on Dan Marley for maybe letting me get loose or whatever. And I used to keep that in my head. I remembered all of that because that was Al. I mean, you always had something that you were going to take away from what he did. The beautiful part about all of this, and as I walked in here, you know, and it touches my heart, because one of the things that I think I've learned as an individual is, you know, we all as individuals, we all have to really know that we got to leave something behind. And that's what makes it great. I'm selfish. I want people to remember me. Like I tell people all the time, I want you to remember me. When I'm gone, I don't want you to forget about me quickly. And that's what Al did. See, Al made sure you're never going to forget him, because he was professional, he worked hard, he never missed games, he was always there to get it done, and he taught you. Here's just a quick, funny story. So I told you, now here I am, a confident NBA player. I know the game. And so I sit next to Al, and I observed him over the period of exhibition games before we started doing regular games. And I noticed that Al had a whiteboard, and he had all the players written down on it, and he had all their numbers next to it, and everything about him, right? So I feel like, okay, I'm gonna come up with my whiteboard. So I had a big whiteboard, and I'm sitting it next to Al. Al's sitting there, and I got my names, and I got all of that. And Al turned to me, and he looked at me, and he's like, "What is that?" I said, "It's my whiteboard. You got one." And he says, "Okay, well, here's your whiteboard." He picked it up, and he tore it. And he threw it away. And he said to me, "I don't want to hear numbers from you. I want you to tell me what just happened in the game. I want you to give the stories. I don't need you to give the numbers. I'll give the numbers." Initially, I wasn't too happy about what he did. Okay? But as the game went along, and I said, okay, I get it. And I thanked him. And I thanked him every day that I was next to him. How great he was. How professional he was. But more importantly, how much he loved the state of Arizona, and he loved his Phoenix Suns. And we miss him. And that's why you have the representation here that you have. He will never go away. His voice will echo in this state forever. He is Mr. Sun, without a doubt. So thank you for the court. Thank you for remembering him. And you're right, Glendale is his home. So you all let everybody know, Al McCoy from Glendale, all right? Every time you talk about him. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eddie. That was beautiful. So we know your nickname on the court was Fast Eddie, so I can't wait to see him take that ceremonial first shot. Now Sue's gonna bring up the ball that you'll be using, Eddie. You could come join us up here. We've got your ball. So this is a special edition NCAA Women's Final Four basketball. And that same ball is gonna hit the court when the tournament comes to Phoenix next year. So we're all gonna head on over to the court and see you take that first shot. But first, we are going to reveal the name over on the court as well.
Now, everybody be nice. That's when I was young. I have not shot a basketball in 3 years.
Dunk it.
But I'm not scared.